Hey everybody, Dale Raper here with Bull Mountain Podcast, brought to you by Happy Hollow Outdoors. Today we're sitting here with Jerry Fancher and Grant Fancher, owners and operators of Fancher's Taxidermy and Deer Processing. Glad to have y'all.
Glad to be here.
We'll just jump right into it. Just tell us a little bit about when you first noticed your interest in taxidermy work, how many years ago and all that good stuff.
Probably in 1995, really a spur of the moment deal. Not really, it was just one of them things that not thought out, I guess. It was mentioned that Paul Witt was giving taxidermy classes in Belmont, and when my friend told me that, I just automatically said I'm interested. So I went down there and talked with Paul and jumped in the class. There's about 5 of us, which taught your basics. You get them out 3 deer, 3 fish, 3 mammals, 3 birds, and learn what tools to use, kind of get yourself oriented, which, didn't make you a taxidermist at that time, but it did get you the basic skills to start moving forward. So from then I finished up the classes and come back, started setting up my shop, picking up anything I could to practice on at work, on the road, anywhere, and just through years of doing it part-time up until 2011, 2013, I decided to go full-time. And we started up a processing plant, and I left my job of 27 years, and we started doing it full-time, and hooked up with Hurricane Creek Lodge, high fence, some really good clients, and it's just kind of gone from there. And Grant's come on board with me, and now they've got my son-in-law, Josh Hemming.
Yeah. So. Grant, what was it like growing up with Jerry Paul doing all the taxidermy work and you as a young?
I knew what kind of dead critter was going to be in the driveway.
Or smell.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't nothing to walk out and be pressure washing some kind of blood and guts all over the driveway out there, And I mean, that was just a normal day.
Yeah.
When
did you start showing interest in it? Was you young?
Yeah, no, I didn't. When I was young, I would go down there and spend some time, in the shop and watch, but I was too busy with sports and
being a kid.
And I played a lot of golf when I was young, and my goal was to play in college, which I did, and ended up going to school and got out, and life hit, saying you got to get a job.
Oh, yeah.
All that, but I didn't get interested until I worked in a factory for almost 8 years, and we lived off up around Pontotoc.
Yeah.
And my wife and I got pregnant, and she said, well, both of us, we wanted to be back closer to home, And we said, well, both of us can't be up here,
right.
Driving. So I was working swing shift, and that really wasn't the best,
Yeah, it ain't good for a family, man.
So I called Dad, and he was talking about hiring somebody, and I said, well, just count me in. And I honestly had never really done much of anything at all. Not because, it interests me, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I never would take the time to sit down and, and I honestly didn't have much time. I played a lot of sports and whatnot, and I worked when I was in high school. And so really not until 2018 is when I first started. When I first started doing taxidermy, and I just jumped in it full time.
Yeah.
In 2018.
That's pretty interesting there, delve off into something that deep.
Faith right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me and him both took one. We both took faith. I left a good job, and he left a good job.
Right.
So, so we was in it to win it once we got in it.
Once you done that, what was your nerves like? Was it real nerve-wracking going into that to start with, or did you feel pretty confident?
I'll say it was very nerve-wracking.
I don't see how you couldn't be.
It is, because I left a really, really good job. Spent a lot of money setting it up. And you don't want to let nobody down.
Right.
And, especially family, and I didn't want to be financially a burden to my wife.
Yeah.
And it did start slow. The taxidermy was semi-established, and I just went into this for a job for me. I didn't see it. I didn't see all this coming. I didn't see this. I was just hoping to hopefully get that paycheck back up close to what I'd left from, and was going to get to stay home, get out of the factory, run my own business. And there's a lot of things that changed during this time to our favor with the industry, with Northwest Alabama, and it just exploded.
Yeah. So, how much experience did y'all have with the processing when you delve off into that?
Processing 2 or 3 hogs a year at Cooper Tire with some buddies, so we could give all family members some sausage and stuff like that. And me and Charlene researched it. I mean, we crazily researched it, but about all the experience we had other than what we Googled and researched, we drove up to Tennessee. We got a recommendation to drive up and meet a guy that we didn't know that ran a processing facility, and it was in the off season. He was shut down.
Right.
So we took our notebook in there and we talked to him and looked at his equipment and took advice from him and done our research, and we went out and we bought stuff, and that's about it. I mean, we went into this thing blind running. I mean, I knew how to skin, but I mean, yeah.
Do you get to help much with the processing?
I have. When I first started in 2018, this past year was really the first year that I didn't really help it much because I stayed more in the taxidermy.
Right. Didn't have time.
We had good help this year. We had some really good employees come in, and they kept it up.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of stay back and do taxidermy, which we really needed to do.
We did.
Yeah.
A
few extra animals this time.
Yeah. I mean, it just, man, when he can stay back there and keep that going, and I can keep this up the processing, going, that's the way you want it to run. You want the whole facility to run, but they are prepping a bunch of hides and animals. They have to take everything in that's going to be for a mount, and they've got to skin it out. They got to get it to a certain state and get it in the freezer in a safe environment.
Yeah.
So keeping all that caught up, and then being able to mount some stuff. When we come out of processing this time, he had all my Georgia, Florida deliveries done for high fence from Hurricane Creek Lodge.
Right.
And that was great. Usually that's the big lull that we take coming out of deer season, is trying to get all of them mounted, and for a month and a half there, you're hardly not even bringing in any income, but they're mounting, they got to dry, you got to finish them. He had all them finished for me this time, so I could just start delivering. And
that helped a lot, I'm sure.
We were losing 4 months of, taxidermy, available taxidermy work.
Because of processing.
I mean, that's the only way we could keep our head above water.
Yeah.
Which it's been really good this year to be able to do that.
Yeah. So you mentioned, what states did you mention? Georgia and Florida?
Yeah.
How many different states have you had to travel to?
We usually take care of Georgia, a little bit of Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana.
Yeah.
That's the majority of the hunters that come in
to Hurricane Creek.
Hurricane Creek, and that's about as far as I really like to go.
Right.
Because that's a pretty good little loop. We'll load basically anywhere from 15 to 25 animals up in the trailer, contact all the people, and I'll just make out a map, and we'll deliver going down, and we'll deliver coming back up.
Yeah.
And you get back home, the trailer's empty. So, it's a good setup. Customers, they really like it. It's convenient for them, and I think it helps. Of course, Hurricane Creek helps us, and I think this really helps Hurricane Creek being number one, class facility that gets some trophy animals and delivers them to their doorstep. Gets them delivered to their doorstep.
Yeah. Well, folks, we got to take a short break. We'll be back just shortly.
When it comes to buying land, why not have a team to help you make the right decisions? Tyler and Dale Jeffries can be that team. After all, they've been a team since the beginning. With Tyler growing up playing football for his dad as his coach, they've become Team Jeffries. Now they're ready to make the next big play and a touchdown for you. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, lease, or even auction land, let Team Jeffries take you to the end zone and make your dreams a reality. Serving all of Alabama and Tennessee. Visit nationalland.com.
Hey everybody, we back on the Bull Mountain Podcast, brought to you by Happy Hollow Outdoors. We still got Jerry, Paul, and Grant sitting here. So we had talked about all of that. So what knowledge have y'all gained about the actual animals, what quality of animals we got, and what kind of hunting we have here in Northwest Alabama through you clients that we have, or that y'all have?
It's getting better. I would say probably biggest impact on whitetail is probably social media.
Really?
I mean, I feel like it is, but I know we have a lot of people that manage their deer better.
Yeah.
But I feel like, everybody wants to take a picture with them horns.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, when that's the kind of the mindset, people naturally,
wanting a better one.
Yeah, and they manage their properties better.
Right.
And, if that's what you're after, then you're not going to kill the young immature bucks.
Yeah.
You're going to wait on them. And I feel like that's the biggest push. I mean, the people do manage their properties a lot better, but it's the past since I've been there since 2018, it just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
And better.
I've noticed that since we've opened up down there, more and more people are coming in. They're wanting to upgrade everything. They're wanting better equipment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they wanting a better rifle, a better scope, binoculars, just anything. I mean, they're wanting a better something because they're wanting to better themselves, and up their chances of what they're taking, or whatever. So, and that's most of that's going to be that got in their head through advertisement of some kind, whether it be social media or the outdoor channel or whatever, But
a lot of this land that Grant's talking about, these clubs come in, people are leasing up some land, and they're giving good money to lease this land, and they're setting up really good hunting clubs. They got a lot of them are setting up some really, really strict rules. Like some of them, 8 corner.
Some of them $1.
Some of them $1. I saw you kill one deer, but the reason they're doing that, they're trying to get these deer up to 4, 5, and 6 year old. I mean, we have the genes here to grow really, really good deer. I mean, but they never do get the opportunity to reach that age.
Right.
And
you got some redneck like me gets trigger happy.
Well, we all grew up that way, I mean, brown down, that's all we ever heard. But I mean, that's not going to grow your good deer. But when these clubs set these rules up and they start growing these deer, and you kill a good quality deer, they're going to go to a taxidermy shop.
Yeah.
And that just in turn helps us. And there's a lot of factors. There's predator management, there's hunting clubs, there's better equipment, there's
Cell cams.
That helps a whole lot.
Good,
that's changed the game.
Yeah.
Used to. I mean, if you seen that good buck walk out there, you was gonna take it. But with that cell cam, especially the way they are now, sending that to you just whenever you want it.
Well, people know
that there's a better one there.
Well, I mean, you ain't gonna know everything you got on your property most of the time, especially during rut. You never know.
That's a fact. Yeah.
But I mean, when people start the season now, they know.
Yeah, they got them.
What they got.
Yeah, they got them numbered.
Yeah, they know about what they got. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, during rut, that's why I tell people.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
And of course, we're no biologists. We do see a lot of stuff, and we do hear a lot of stories, and so we know a little bit about deer hunting from just being involved in it so much. But one thing you get, a lot of these hunters get hung up on these $1 or $2, And sometimes I feel like maybe they're not harvesting enough of their does or this, that, and other, because we have got some deer in Northwest Alabama.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I talked to
tough, but
it can. I talked to a guy in Arkansas. I guess that's been 4 years ago, a trapping convention. He is a retired biologist for the state of Arkansas, and he said the number one problem with deer management was people didn't want to kill enough does. And he said the second problem was they didn't want to kill the cull bucks. Yeah. He said that was a major problem, is not killing the cull bucks. He said they would even lower their standards on their good bucks. You know what I'm saying? Where they'd take an 8-point that maybe was 12 inches on the inside, instead of killing this 6-point that was 5 years old that didn't have any brow tines, when that one should have been killed, or whatever. But
and there's another problem to that from a deer processing standpoint too.
What's that?
If you kill the number of deer that probably needed to be killed, we can't handle it. I'm not kidding.
I can see that.
We couldn't handle it if they did.
Right.
So as I'm sitting here promoting and saying people don't kill enough of them, I mean, we would end up having to do something like shut down for so long we got caught up or whatever, because you can only,
we're just not that big of a processor.
Yeah, we're not, and we don't want to be. We don't want to be a huge processing, but heck, you're doing 500 to 750 a season, 4 months. That seems like
and that's
our little be small crew.
So that's just on that part. That ain't counting any exotics or anything else anybody might bring in.
We're just talking processing. Just the processing.
That's just 500 to 750.
Yeah.
So that ain't counting any taxidermy work or anything. That's 500 to 750 that y'all are processing a year.
Yeah, and that's not counting all them that's going back there to ham to be skinned out, mammals, deer, exotics, elks, mule deers,
anything.
All that stuff. So there's a lot of knife whittling going on in that place, especially 4 or 5 months. So.
Yeah. In that 4 or 5 months, how much does that affect your family time?
A lot, a whole lot.
Spouses ever get aggravated?
Stay mad from beginning of hunting season to the end of hunting season. I'm talking mad, especially around them holidays.
One good thing about it though, so you got Josh in there now.
Yeah.
So she already knows what's coming.
Yeah.
So maybe he won't have to put up with much of it as.
You know what? I am kind of hoping this has got to make it a little bit easier, because all the women involved have got all their husbands in one place. Even though we're not where they want us to be, we're not where they don't want us to be. I mean, so I'm hoping it's just a little bit easier, because, Charlie, she gets a little aggravated because you're not there to help her with any of the holidays. Thanksgiving, you're in to eat about an hour or 2 hours after we're relieving each other, okay?
Yeah.
Usually. Now, we do shut down Christmas Day, and that's it.
Right.
And we actually used to be hunters. And we are hunters, but our hunts now are just real short, sporadic hunts.
We hunt a bed.
Yeah, we hunt a bed.
How many hours, no kidding, y'all put in a week during hunting season?
It's 12, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
7 days a week. Now, Grant and I will rotate out evening shifts, because we have some skinners comes in after school at night. They've been with us a couple of years, but still, one of us has to be there, especially if one of us has to go to the lodge and pick up. Then you got people picking up meat. They're handling that. So usually, me and him both are there at 6 or 6:30.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
And then what we're calling getting to go home early is 6:30.
Is past supper time, getting ready for bedtime.
Yeah. So, but every job has its. I mean, we're sitting here talking about it, and it is pretty bad, but it's still, that's just the worst part of it. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff about the taxidermy deer processing. The long hours and time away from the family during the hunting season is the hard part.
Yeah.
But you have to do that if you want to continue to grow the taxidermy shop. And honestly, the hunters, they need a processing facility to take care of their harvest.
Yeah.
I mean, it really wouldn't hurt if there's another one, so that's going to promote your hunting. If the hunters, they need somewhere, a lot of these hunters are from out of town. They stay here the weekends. So when they harvest an animal, they don't really have a good setup to take care of it where they're at. They're looking for a processor to take care of it for them. So
Yeah, they ain't got the means to
they don't have
take care of what they
That's
need
right.
to take care of.
Yeah. So, we need to be open for them, too. So it's.
When you gonna get the grandson and your nephew in there to?
They ready.
They think they're ready.
Yeah, they think they're ready. Josh's youngest son, he'd go to work today if you'd let him.
I remember seeing that video. I think you'd put it on Facebook. He was squalling mad, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he slapped the dog. Yeah. The dog come up because he just won't go to the shop. Mom wasn't going to let him. That dog come up. He just waylaid that son down upside the head. But he's 4-year-old, y'all, and I'm bringing him in the skinning room, and he'll put the cable around the neck. He'll run the hoist, and I didn't let him have the knife to begin with because I thought he's gonna get cut and they'll blame Papa. But Josh had started working back there, and I went back there in the taxidermy shop. He was sitting at the table. He had one of them paring knives in his hands, over our wheeling side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be all in. That's Miles. That's Miles. Now, Maverick, he's all into sports, so I think he'll be in a little bit, but Miles is going to be right there in the middle of all of it.
That'll be good.
Yeah, that's going to be real good. Yeah.
Be 3 generations into it, won't it?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be real nice.
That's when we hope we get her hunting back.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it all on
We're waiting
him.
on that
Yeah.
to get her hunting back.
Yeah.
How much do you get to hunt? No kidding.
Not much. Maybe 5-10 times a year if we're lucky.
Grant loves duck hunting,
Yeah.
so it's really not his duck hunting.
Yeah.
Which duck hunting hasn't been the greatest here last couple of years, but I mean he's got a dog in training right now, so I know he wants some time to. He'll work yet this coming year if he gets an opportunity.
Yeah.
Josh coming on board, that's gonna help us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the more people we can get there that we can,
Well, y'all rotate shifts out or
help each other out.
whatever.
I mean, it's good to have somebody there, that can take care of stuff while you're gone. That's the biggest thing because you can't just say. It takes a lot of time to understand what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. So you can't just leave anybody there,
Yeah.
We're not going to leave the shop without one of us there. In other words, I mean,
Well, you can't. Don't look to me like.
if you're going to own a business and run a business, one of you needs to be there.
Yeah.
That's just the way we always ran it.
And the reputation that y'all got, I mean, it's going to be right when it leaves there. So why would you want to take that chance for something not to be,
We try every way in the world to make sure it's right. There's a lot of people and a lot of paperwork and a lot of things to keep up with. So that's the reason we're going to make sure one of us is there to try to make sure we limit any errors that might happen, and if it happens, it's on us. We don't want to be blaming or putting it on somebody else.
Yeah.
It's our bad if it's bad. You know what I mean? So
And it happens.
it does. It happens. I mean, we don't want it to, but sometimes mistakes do happen.
Right.
There's a lot of requests coming through that shop, and a lot of writing down, and we try to spend the time to make sure it's right. But things can happen, and we do our best to try to make sure it's right. And I think for the most part, everybody realizes that we do.
Yeah. What do you say? I don't know how to ask that question. When you get a finished product, what do you call it? Preserve that memory for somebody.
Yeah.
Do you see most people tickled with that? I mean, do you feel a part of that?
Yeah.
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't see how you couldn't
I think that's
feel
the
like
most
you was part of
rewarding.
it.
I think that's the most rewarding part of this job is seeing people happy, when they, because I mean, a lot of jobs, you think about it. I know you worked in a factory and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of times you don't get to see the end result or something. You know what I mean? When you building something, who knows where they go? You know what I'm saying? You don't see when that person gets that product or whatever.
Yeah, you don't see if they tickled or mad or whatever.
And I think it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really drives you to keep wanting to do better and better. You know what I'm saying? I think that's my favorite part about the job.
And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves too, because it don't matter what we're mounting. I mean, we're really after perfection, which we never reach it. But every mount we do, me and him, we're kind of on each other, like, you need to be easy on that nose, or you need to do this better, I mean, we want it to turn out, we want it to please us,
right.
And so we up our chances of pleasing that customer. But
yeah.
we're pretty rough on ourselves in that shop.
Well, I know
making
you.
Sure it's right.
So you said that you went into it in '95, so that's 29 years.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you still going to seminars and conventions or whatever it may be offered for you to take.
Learn every day.
Yeah.
It's so fast and changing. Yeah.
Is technology changing that much, or is it techniques that people's learned? Figured out.
I mean, honestly, taxidermy is always going to be moving skin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's just new techniques, and social media has just there's so many things out there that you can go, see all these new techniques and stuff and see other people's work. And it just, there's a ton of stuff out there.
Right.
It just makes you want to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's some really good people out there that can, master level taxidermists. But that's what you want to strive for. When you see their work and how they're doing stuff, that's what you
incorporated in your shop.
Yeah. So you start working on that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So like you went to school with Paul, you said, and learned the basics. So with what you had under your belt when he come on,
I give him as good a basics and as much as I could give him in as short amount of time as I could, and he'll tell you I worked it. And I started him out, I think, the right way, skinning and fleshing.
Yeah.
In other words, I didn't let him mount anything until he could really, really prep that hide, like it's supposed to be. And I think that was probably the best thing that I taught him. And then, we taught him how to mount, but he went on ahead of me and went on out there. He went and done some seminars in Oklahoma, Texas. And started competing and started hooking up with a lot of other really, really good taxidermists. And we help each other. Grant brought in new ideas, new techniques. I've got a lot of knowledge. Like if we run up on something, I think that's part of what maybe helps. I have seen a lot through the years, so I can kind of help get over a hurdle a lot quicker of things that maybe they hadn't seen.
Right.
Not that they wouldn't have figured it out, but I don't waste no time.
Done been there, done that.
Yeah, I can just keep on clicking through it. But now we help each other, but like he said, social media now, he stays on the phone, on the computer, talking about stuff that he watched. Hey, Dad, look at this right here, what they done at, Amy's Arts, or at, what's that in Tennessee that we like so well? Wilson's, wildlife archery. I always bring stuff in the shop that we're looking at on the phone, to kind of incorporate on our mounts there. So, and now we're trying to get that into Josh. So, and we're going to get there.
So it looks to me like, with what you was able to offer him, that was to get him looks to me like it'd been able for him to get ahead. Is he further ahead in his 6 years than you was in your 6 years?
Yeah, it ain't even.
You know what I'm saying?
No comparison. He had a crash course that first year. How many deer did you finally mount that first year?
I don't know, but I skinned every one of them suckers.
I flashed nearly every one of them. Yeah, and nearly cut his arm off too. But I'm gonna say in his first year he was where I was at. Like you said, 5 or 6. No, easy. Just from the amount of knowledge he was obtaining from other people and the amount of work he was
hands on.
Yeah. We rolled. We put him through it that first year.
That's good.
But he was ready to go, because it's piecework. You don't make no money if you can turn nothing out.
Yeah.
So
you got to remember too, I just quit a good job.
Yeah.
So that helps motivate you a little bit.
He told me, he said, Dad, we're going to starve to death. I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to make it.
Oh, man. Mayonnaise and ramen noodles for a little while.
Yeah. I said, you're going to get there. It's just, let's go. So we did.
Folks, we got to take a short break. We'll be back.
Welcome to Happy Hollow. Here you can find a wide variety of products, including home decor, apparel, western wear, pet supplies, baby clothes, boots, gifts, and of course, our year-round Christmas selection. As you make your way to the back, you'll be greeted with our outdoors section, which includes hunting, fishing, camping, guns, and ammo, as well as our gunsmith shop. Oh, and take a moment to sit and warm up next to our fireplace. Take the elevator or the stairs up to our second floor, where you will find our sports section, which includes a wide variety of golf supplies, baseball, softball, football, disc golf, and many other sports products, even pickleball. No matter what you're looking for, there is always something to find at Happy Hollow Outdoors, located at 985 9th Street West, Red Bay, Alabama.
Hey everybody, Dale Raper here. We're back on the Bull Mountain Podcast, brought to you by Happy Hollow Outdoors. We still got Grant and Jerry Powell sitting here. What about, tell us, so Grant brought up a point while we was on the break there about a deer not what would you call it? Yielding as much meat as like a beef or something. Tell us the whole deal behind that, Grant.
I'll let you explain it. You more on the processing side.
Well, I know me and my wife, family, we eat deer religiously, and we really like it. And to us, the way we started out processing deer was when you bring a deer in, we quarter it up. When it stays in the cooler 3 or 4 days, goes through a chill factor, gets all the game heat stuff out of it. When we bring it out, we actually separate every muscle in the hind quarter. Got your back strap staying there, and you got your front shoulder, which actually comes out to 3 cuts when you take the meat off of it. But in the middle of all those muscles, you have got talon, you've got silvers, and on a good healthy deer, you got fat on the outside of it.
Right. You
cannot save any of that to put in your deer. There's a couple reasons. Either you can't chew it, or it's going to have a horrible taste to it. That's right. One thing about deer. It's not like beef. It's not like pork. If you want your deer meat to taste good, you have to shave all that off.
Deer fat does not render it.
No. And when we make our grind 2 different ways. You can either have it with fat or without. And we call it fat, but it is actually hamburger meat, 7327 that we put in our deer meat if you call for fat added. And all that does, it helps hold it together. And usually we put 3 to 4 pounds, and sometimes 5 if they ask for more, to 10 pounds of deer meat. On an average size doe, you looking at like 3 pounds of something, a tenderloin.
Yeah.
A big buck, you can get 5 pounds. Huge buck, maybe 6 pounds. That's after you've cleaned it all up.
Right.
On an average size doe, coming in there after we've shaved everything off of it, tenderloins, steaks, grinds, you're looking around maybe 25 pounds of cleaned up, processed, good to eat, ready to cook deer meat. Now, I can make that, and we get paid by the pound. So, I'm not going to hold nothing back to keep me from making money. So, but the reason we do that is because you're not going to come back if I throw all this fat and stuff in it to try to make some extra money, because you ain't going to be able to eat it.
Yeah, and it's garbage.
And it's garbage, that's right. So, people need to keep that in mind, when they're bringing deer in. We are making money by the pound, and we want you to come back, and the only way we're going to get you to come back and eat this deer meat is if we do it right. And that's what takes so much time. I've been doing it since 2013, and if I bring a deer out, put it on the table, separate every muscle, slice up every tenderloin, and get it all ready. And I'm not the fastest in the world either. I'm an hour and 15 minutes in just getting it cut up like it's supposed to be, ready to go to the grinder. You know what I mean? And the tenderloin cleaned up and sliced and put in a bowl. So that's me that knows what to do. Is still, I'm an hour in cleaning it up.
Right.
Just one deer.
Just getting it ready to grind,
just
or
getting
slice,
it ready to
or
grind,
whatever.
or tenderize, or make summer sauce stuff out of. So hopefully that'll let people kind of understand, you know, you can only do so many, you know, it takes so many people at that cutting table to move that deer on through the process.
Yeah.
So that's where the hang up is.
You could do it in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's gonna have all that tendon, all that fascia and stuff on it, and it ain't gonna be right.
Yeah.
You know?
And my grinder will grind it.
Oh yeah,
Guarantee he'll grind
that's
it.
a house of a grinder, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll grind it up.
Yeah.
We can pack it right in there, but it's not gonna be any good to eat.
It's gonna smell bad. It's gonna have a different smell to it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about it is gonna have a different look to it.
What about, would you rather somebody bring you the whole deer in there? Versus them already having it skinned and quartered, or?
Yeah, because we're set up for it. I mean, really.
Right.
I mean, we can hang it. We have a way that we cut it. Very little hair gets on it.
Yeah.
Now there's some good people. There's some people out there that know how to do it and do a real good job at it. But usually the person may know how to do it. He just don't have a good setup to do it.
Right.
You know, and another thing, and I grew up this way too. The old concept of we need to soak it in water.
Yeah, I was
Change
going to
out
ask you
water.
about that.
And I'm not saying that is bad, okay? But I will say this: that really, all you're doing is waterlogging your deer and getting the outer coating of blood. It's just a lot of water that's going to be soaked in your deer meat.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's as good idea as we all thought it was in the day. You know,
Right.
I think it's better just to get the animal skinned out, quartered up in a real clean state, and get it into the cooler, let it get cool, and let it kind of firm up a little bit. We waste a lot less deer meat with doing that process than we do any other process.
Right.
So
It is good to field dress them as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
There is you can tell a significant difference in a deer that's been sitting out, say, a few hours with the guts in it versus a deer that was field dressed. I mean, the meat consistency, everything is different. I mean, and that's the only difference is the sooner you can get the guts out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, them things are cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, you think, I mean, I know you skin a deer. I mean, when you do it, it's warm, you know.
Right.
And that if you leave guts in there, it's just in there cooking meat.
It's sitting there slow roasting.
It
ain't
is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
it's in
what
a
it's
crock
in.
pot.
I ain't never looked at it that
When
way.
somebody says, "Man, this gonna be good," them tenderloins just fell out of this deer. No, they didn't. They cooked out of that deer. I mean, nature's taking its course. You know, when,
Right.
not just the animal. When anything dies, it's nature saying, "Okay, we're gonna heat up. We're gonna start these bacteria rolling.
Decomposing.
We're gonna start decomposing." And another old saying that I will tell you don't hold true: if the ground's froze, the deer's okay the next morning. You know, if you had to
Yeah.
leave it.
Right.
It's not, and I'll tell you why. The animal falls, the legs close, everything's cooking in there all night. When you skin that deer out, you may not see it. You may not see it around that ball joint in that hind quarter. When I've left it in that cooler for 3 days, just 3 days, because it does need to stand there 3 days. When we bring it out to that cutting table, that bacteria is there. We never saved. We didn't save. How many times have we tried this? There's umpteen people. We've tried it umpteen times. People say, "Oh, I know it's good. It was late," and I say, "Okay, we'll try it." So I put it in the cooler and I get out the cutting table. You can smell it. It's already there. So I'm telling you, if you shoot one in the evening, it goes and it dies at night, and you don't get it to a processor that night, or you don't get it field dressed,
Right.
just go get you another deer. Don't waste
Yeah.
your time, because the bacteria is already going to set up in them critical areas, and I've just seen it too many times.
Yeah. That's good knowledge to have there, because kind of like you was talking about, you always been told that would be all right.
was too.
You know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not. It just don't work. Nature's already started. The bacteria gets set up in there, and it's a lot quicker than people think it is. And I mean, if you get it that next morning, you were to skin it out and put it in your freezer, you may think everything's okay, but I'm telling you, there's already bacteria set up
Already
in that
there.
thing. It's already there.
yeah.
If you'd have left it in a cooler for 3 days, cooling down, you would get to see what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And you'd have wished you'd throw that thing away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just cause the hide ain't already slipping don't mean it's not already already ruined.
Yeah. Just cause there's
Did you hear that? Ruined.
Just cause there was ice on the ground that was below freezing at night.
Yeah.
You still had that oven cooking in there with them legs closed and all that heat around them muscles and that back strap.
I never thought of it. Never even. I say never thought of it that way.
There's too many deer to even take a chance.
Yeah, so why would you chance that? I mean, there's already more needs killing than what we are killing.
Yeah,
you know?
Go get another one. Yeah, don't. Yeah. That's part of hunting.
You know, there's a lot of folks started predator trapping around, and trapping is more popular around here than I thought it was.
Oh yeah.
But that's helped the game, all kinds of game.
I'm gonna say that's the number one reason I think Northwest Alabama is thriving like it is right now with our deer and our turkey. I've never seen nothing like it.
Oh, there's lots of them, and and we're gonna have another problem there if we don't do our part. We're gonna have too much. You know,
you're right.
We're gonna
have
nature will take care of it. And I'd rather us take advantage of it is see them go to waste, so to speak. But I got one more question here. If you don't care to talk about it, tell us a little bit about your time in the Marine Corps. Or tell us a lot about it if you want to.
That was a long time ago. I was just a young high school boy getting out of high school. And, didn't really know what to do, and I always wanted to go in the Marine Corps for some reason. So I went in 1983. Paris Island, went into the infantry and become a wire guided missile operator in 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines. Old Red Bay boy, never had been out of Franklin County, and I landed in North Carolina, and from there I was on a ship all over Europe, all over Germany, and 6 months Okinawa, trained in Egypt, met some really good people, learned a lot of valuable lessons, and would do it all over again.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So, come in, met Charlene before I got out, and landed a good job. So I stayed home. But, I could have easily, re-enlisted and went back in, but I think I've made the right choice. But I highly recommend if you don't know what you want to do and just kind of need to get away for a while and learn a trade, and go sign up in the U.S. Armed Forces.
How many years was you in?
I was in four years.
I appreciate your service.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, sure do.
I think you should ask Jerry Fancher why he went in.
Jerry Fancher.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to tell us about this now. You can't leave us like this.
Like great.
I just heard all these stories about him troublemaking, and that's yeah.
I did have a little bit. I mean, I was a little bit on the wild side, but who's not at 18, But, yeah. But I really think it's one reason why I'm where I'm at today. I really do.
Yeah.
I needed some guidance. Okay, I'll be honest about that.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps they'll give you some guidance.
They'll give you
some good guidance.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had plenty of issues that needed worked on.
And they got worked on.
And they got worked on, yeah, they did. Because one thing about when you finally get away from home and you get out on your own and mom and them ain't there, when you mess up, guess what? Jerry Powell gets to handle it,
it's real then.
It's real then. So, and I think it could be what's troubling a lot of our youth nowadays is they don't ever have to answer for anything.
Right.
So that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, folks, that's going to wrap us up. I do got something here I want to share, though. Romans 8:6. And God said, letting your sinful nature control your mind leads to death, but letting the Spirit control your mind leads to life and peace. That's our sinful nature is a battle that we're going to have to fight every day. I mean, every second of the day, or I do. And I know it's worse for some than it is others. Letting the Spirit control our mind it's a whole lot easier said than done, especially on my part. But anyway, that's just some food for thought there. Y'all have a good one.
Thank y'all for having us.
Thank you, Dave.